Hey besties! So I'm giving you 7 things about why you should move to China. The first one is it's very safe here. I swear it's safe. You can leave your bag, your phone unattended, go to the bathroom, nothing is going to happen. People don't really steal, even though you do have to look after your bag in public. Like you have to, if it's crowded, then pickpocketing can happen, but for the most part you can walk out at night, you can take a nap in a taxi. Things I could only dream of in SA because I had to stay vigilant and still have to. When I go visit home, my body is probably gonna be like okay, and then it's reset, and then I have to watch my bag all the time. I have to watch where I'm at. I have to not have my phone on my hand while I'm walking. Whatever you could just be detrimental to your life or your livelihood, here you don't really have to be that vigilant, even though you still have to be reasonably aware of your surroundings, but you don't have to live in fear. And as a woman from SA, I swear that has made a difference in just my life and not being jumpy all the time. So I definitely think that should be a good reason for you to move here. Very safe. Number 2, the standard of living is great. You don't have to stress about basic needs like food, water, transport. What else? You do have to stress about housing a little bit because that can be expensive, but otherwise you live a great life for relatively cheap. And for me, that's a big one as well. You are able to, if you say for example you're broke, being broke here would mean, say I have 2,000 RMB only to live in one month, that would be enough. But if I had 2,000 rands to live in SA for 1 month to cover everything, that definitely would not be enough. So in terms of just living a good life that every person, every human being deserves, it's awesome. Depending on your spending habits and what your preferences as well, of course it can go up, but in terms of just the basic things, for sure they've got us covered. Number 3, you get to experience a totally different culture from your culture, and I think that's very important in terms of just growing and evolving as a person. It was not the most important thing for me when I moved, but as I moved and lived here over the years, it's really great to experience another culture that is very different from my culture back home. Some things are similar, but for the most part it's very different. It's refreshing, it's frustrating, you question it, you learn to respect it. It's just a beautiful thing to experience, and I think every person should be able to experience that at least once in their lifetime. Almost everything is convenient. That's number 4. Everything is convenient. Your transport is very convenient. If you prefer using the bus, that's very convenient. If you have to use the metro to commute to work, that's very convenient as well, very cheap as well, especially the metro. I don't know about the bus. I think the bus is cheap as well. I've never really used the bus here. If you prefer the Didi as well, it's convenient depending on the traffic and the time. Sometimes during rush hour it can be a little bit inconvenient, but for the most part that's superb. And if you live in a big city, everything is so convenient. I think I've been in the house for the whole weekend since Friday. Today is Tuesday. I haven't really left the house, only to take trash downstairs. Haven't needed to. I'm also just trying to lay low because of the cases. So, but I'm able to just leave, and I know this is the case for everyone, for most people in big cities around the world, but here it's on a different level. You can live in the house and not leave to go outside and you'd be fine. Deliveries are quick. They are cheap as well, depending on how far the driver is coming from and stuff. So that's very convenient. You don't have to cook if you don't want to as well, and that's not expensive. I know in South Africa if you don't cook, it's like you're a rich person, but here if you don't cook, it's like you just don't want to cook. All right, and it's relatively, for me, arguably, I think it's the same if not cheaper actually, because some restaurants are very cheap, especially Chinese restaurants. But now I prefer making my own food. But if you don't want to make your own food, there was a time when I never cooked at all and I was fine. It wasn't expensive for me, so it's very convenient. If life is fast, life is great. When you go to the grocery stores as well, it's a lot of people, but it doesn't take a lot of time to get the things that you need unless things are just weird and it's lockdowns, you know. But everything is very, very convenient. I haven't been to the ATM, I think, this year. I only go to the ATM when I need to refill my card, my Metro card, because they only take cash, so that way I'm forced. Everything else is just very convenient, so that's another good reason. You have more job opportunities outside of the job that you came here for. So if you came here and you decided, oh my goodness, I don't want to work for this school, then you would find another school, I think. Not if it's not even, I think a lot of people have done that. It's like, oh, I came with this company, but I then realized that I don't want to work for them. And then you just apply for other jobs and then you can get another job. You can work more than one job, especially if your school is a training center and you only go to work maybe from 5 to whatever 9 p.m. Then you can work in a kindergarten during the day and then go to, so you have like whole 2 salaries, but you'd have to keep that to yourself because you're not allowed, most contracts don't allow you to have more than one job. Even the visa doesn't allow that, but people do it all the time. You just have to be smart about it. You can easily change careers as well depending on your field. You can just get any job that you want, not any job that you want, any teaching job that you want, you can get. It's easy to move schools. You're not trapped in one school unless your visa and your contract maybe binds you, or you know, those legal cases. But for the most part, you definitely can get another job quickly. There's an app for everything. This is reason number 6. There's an app for everything. So if you want to get your food, there's apps for that. Very convenient. It ties to that. There's apps for the Metro as well, the Metro card, which I'm a granny for wanting to refill cash, because you can do that on your phone. There's an app for everything, literally everything. There's an app. You don't need to worry. COVID, we have not an app for that, but it's in an app. It's in another app. The cash apps outside of just Apple and the popular ones, the Western ones. You have WeChat Pay here. We have Alipay. It's awesome. Everything can be done on an app, which is, you need your phone. Or if you don't have a phone here, you cannot survive China. So you need to have a phone when you live in this country. You can't not be a phone person. It needs to be a smartphone as well. Even old people be out here using their iPhones, you know. I thought it was very cool when I moved here, but now I'm used to it. Reason number 7, which is the last reason, you can save a large chunk of your salary. I've never really counted how much I'm able to save if I wanted to save, but I would say maybe 70% of my salary I would be able to save if I got serious about it. You don't need a lot of money to live, like I've said before. You just need enough money, depending on how much you go out as well and just your preferences. But compared to how much I was able to save in SA and how much I'm able to save here, so I'm comparing the two. Here it's so much better. In SA you could make a lot of money, but you're not able to save a lot of it as well at the same time, because depending on your lifestyle, it all depends. I know it's subjective, but for the most part, for a regular person like myself, you definitely are able to save way more than you would be if you lived in a country that is more expensive in terms of food, in terms of housing, in terms of, you know, so you get paid enough to live a really good life, but also you're able to save a large chunk, which for me is the best. It's like my favorite thing about living here. Anyway, hope this was helpful. Bye guys.